He said it quietly, almost like he didn't want the world to hear it. "I thought we'd lost him." Those 6 words broke the silence that had surrounded the family for weeks. Mark's son hadn't spoken to the media, not once, since his father's sudden health crisis. But now his voice, soft, young, and trembling, carried more emotion than any headline ever could. It wasn't just a son speaking about his father. It was a child finally releasing the fear he'd been holding in his heart for too long. For days, the cameras had camped outside. Reporters asked questions, fans left flowers. But inside the Ripa Consuelo's home, the air was still. Kelly moved quietly through the house, trying to stay strong. The children whispered, afraid to ask what was really happening. They could hear the machines in the hospital from memory, even when they weren't there. Every vibration of a phone made their hearts stop for a second. Every text message felt like it could be the one that changed everything. The world saw a celebrity family under pressure. But behind closed doors, they were just a family, terrified of what tomorrow might bring. Mark had been in and out of the public eye for years, but this time was different. This wasn't about a show, or an appearance, or a rumor. This was about survival. The silence online only made it worse. Every hour without an update became fuel for speculation. Fans demanded answers. Some blamed Kelly for hiding the truth. Others sent prayers, photos, stories, and all trying to help. But for their son, it all felt like noise. He didn't want the world's attention. He just wanted his dad to wake up. The breaking point came one night when Kelly returned from the hospital alone. Her face was pale. Her hands were shaking. Their son met her at the door and asked quietly, "Is Dad okay?" She paused. Tried to smile, but her eyes said everything. That night, he sat by the window, watching city lights blur through his tears. He didn't cry loud. He didn't want to worry his siblings. He just whispered the same words over and over again. "Please, Dad, don't go." Somewhere in that quiet room, between prayers and fear, he realized how fragile everything really was. The fame, the shows, the laughter. None of it mattered now. All he wanted was one more day. One more, "I love you." Days passed. The house stayed quiet, except for the sounds of phones buzzing with messages from people they didn't even know. His mother was strong. She always had been. But he could see her breaking in private. She'd smile for the cameras but cry when the lights went out. And he learned what it meant to grow up too fast, to protect the person who'd always protected you. He stopped posting on social media. He turned off the news, because no article, no comment, no rumor could ever explain what it felt like to wait for your dad to wake up. Then came the moment that changed everything. It was early morning when Kelly called out his name from the living room. Her voice was shaking, but this time it wasn't fear. It was hope. He ran downstairs, heart racing, and saw her holding her phone, tears streaming down her face. He opened his eyes, she said. Just 3 words, but they were enough. He fell to his knees. He didn't know whether to laugh or cry. In that instant, all the fear, all the pain, all the sleepless nights finally broke. He couldn't stop saying it. "Thank you, thank you, thank you." He would later say it felt like time froze in that moment. The world went quiet. And for the first time in weeks, he could finally breathe again. When the news broke publicly, the media called it a miracle recovery. But for the family, it wasn't a headline. It was healing. Their son stayed out of sight, not because he didn't care, but because he wanted peace. He wanted his father to rest without the noise. Yet the pressure didn't stop. The interviews, the requests, the attention, it all came rushing back. Kelly handled most of it, but when the cameras finally turned to him, he knew he couldn't stay silent forever. And that's when he said it. "I thought we'd lost him." His voice broke on the word lost. It wasn't a performance. It was the truth. He wasn't a celebrity's son in that moment. He was just a boy who had faced the unthinkable. He spoke about how seeing his dad in the hospital made him realize how much we take for granted. Family dinners, morning texts, even arguments. He said, "You think there's always more time, until one day there isn't." It wasn't dramatic, it was honest, and that's why it moved millions. Behind every photo of a smiling family online, there's a story you'll never see. For them, it was the fight to stay together while the world watched too closely. The son's words reminded people that fame doesn't protect anyone from heartbreak. It only makes it harder to hide. He talked about the messages from strangers, the ones that helped, and the ones that hurt. But what mattered most, he said, was what happened when the cameras went off. The late-night hugs, the quiet laughter, the sound of his father's voice again. That's what healing really looked like. Months later, things began to feel normal again, or at least their new version of normal. Kelly went back to work. Mark took time to recover. Their son learned to smile again without worrying if it would all disappear. He said in one interview, "When something like this happens, you don't just move on, you move differently. You love differently." And that's exactly what they did. They learned to love louder, to laugh longer, to hold each other tighter. The world saw recovery. They felt rebirth. And for the son who once sat in silence staring out at the night, those words, "I thought we'd lost him," will always remind him how close they came to losing everything. But it will also remind him how strong love can be when it's all you have left. If this story touched you, don't forget to like the video, subscribe for more updates, and share your thoughts in the comments below. We're here with you.